Do you find yourself struggling with old patterns and wounds that just keep coming up? Or do you react intensely to triggers that just seem out of proportion to the situation? If so, these may be signs that your inner child is calling out for attention and healing. Hi, beautiful souls. My name is Ava Work. I'm an energy healer and coach, and welcome to my channel, where I help you heal from your past, get unstuck, and live as your highest self. On this video, I'm going to talk about the inner child, what it is, how to recognize when it's influencing you, what the impact is on your life when it shows up. And later on this video, I'll share an approach that has helped me and those that I work with heal our inner child wounds so that they don't run our life anymore. So let's just start off with, what do I mean by the inner child? Well, the inner child represents the part of your subconscious mind that holds on to the emotions, memories, and experiences from your childhood. The inner child carries the emotional memories of your childhood, both positive and negative. And these can include feelings of joy, curiosity, and playfulness, as well as experiences of fear, rejection, abuse, or neglect. Many issues related to the inner child stem from unmet needs during childhood. And these could be needs for love, safety, validation, or attention. And when these needs are not met, they can create deep wounds that show up in maladaptive ways as adults. So how do you know when your inner child is making an appearance? What are some signs that you have a wounded inner child? Well, one major clue is when you find yourself reacting in a way that feels just out of proportion to what's happening right now. Maybe a small criticism from your boss or your partner makes you feel angry or sad, or a minor setback feels like it's just the end of the world. These are strong, often confusing emotional reactions that are your inner child speaking up. That's because your inner child holds on to the emotions and experiences from your childhood, which often include unresolved trauma or unprocessed emotions. So when you encounter these situations as an adult that to the subconscious mind resemble these challenging past experiences or traumas, they can trigger these old feelings and beliefs connected to the original wounds, bringing out your hurt inner child as an adult. Now, how can you tell when you're acting from your adult self versus your inner child self? Well, when you're reacting from your adult self, your responses are typically more calm and rational. You're able to react from a more grounded and neutral state of being. You pause before you react, you consider the consequences, and you communicate in a way that's just constructive and respectful without taking things personally. For example, if someone gives you feedback at work, your adult self might take a moment to understand their point of view, assess it calmly, and respond appropriately, even if the feedback is critical. On the other hand, when your inner child is in charge, your reactions are just more automatic, emotional, or even impulsive. For instance, if that same feedback at work feels like a personal attack, you might immediately get defensive or upset and revert to feelings you had when criticized or felt unsupported as a child. The wounded inner child can significantly influence your adult life, often in ways that you might not immediately realize or associate. And here are some examples of patterns of behavior to help you recognize how your inner child might be running the show. I mentioned this earlier, that your inner child can cause you to react emotionally in ways that seem disproportionate to the situation. It can also show up as a fear of abandonment. If your inner child experienced neglect or abandonment, you may struggle with a constant fear of being left alone or rejected. And this fear can lead to clingy behavior, jealousy, or an inability to trust others in relationships. It can manifest as people-pleasing behaviors, where to avoid rejection or gain approval, your inner child might lead you to become a people pleaser. And this often results in sacrificing your own needs and desires to make others happy, leading to resentment and burnout. It can also show up as a pattern of perfectionism, where an inner child that faced criticism or high expectations, or maybe believed that they were flawed in some way, might drive you to perfectionism. You may feel that you must be perfect in order to be loved or accepted. It can show up as avoidance of conflict if your inner child experienced a volatile or hostile home environment. You might avoid conflict at all costs. And this can lead to passive-aggressive behavior and suppressing your true feelings. A wounded inner child can contribute to a pattern of negative self-image, and low self-esteem. You might constantly doubt your worth, feel undeserving of success or happiness, and struggle with self-criticism and maybe even self-loathing. And without a strong sense of self-worth and defaulting to people-pleasing behavior in order to cope, you might find it challenging to set and enforce healthy boundaries. And this can lead to overcommitting, being taken advantage of, and feeling overwhelmed. It can also manifest as addictive behaviors, where to cope with unresolved childhood pain, your inner child might drive you towards substance abuse, overeating, or compulsive activities as a way to numb the emotional pain. And if your inner child faced betrayal or inconsistent caregiving, you might struggle with trust issues. And this can affect your ability to form deep, meaningful connections and lead to constant suspicion or anxiety in relationships. And it can manifest as a pattern of needing to constantly seek approval and validation from others in order to feel worthy. This reliance on external validation can prevent you from developing a strong sense of self-worth and reinforce the feeling that you're not worthy or good enough. As children, we develop some of these behavior patterns as survival mechanisms to cope with the difficult and traumatic situations that we were facing at that time. And these behaviors might have been necessary for survival then, but as an adult, these same behaviors become maladaptive, leading to self-sabotage and blocking your personal growth, success, and fulfillment. So now that you're aware of some of these limiting patterns and negative influences of the wounded inner child, the question you may be asking is, what can I do to heal my inner child? And if you research this topic, you'll find that there are several different approaches to heal your wounded inner child. But on this video, I want to share a powerful and proven method that has helped me and my clients profoundly heal our inner child wounds. And that's through the doorway of healing our emotional triggers and self-sabotaging behavior patterns, which can look like some of the examples I just shared. Emotional triggers and self-sabotaging behavior patterns are often directly linked to unresolved wounds of the inner child because these wounds stem from emotionally charged experiences that end up shaping our core beliefs, our emotional responses, and our behaviors. During childhood, we form core beliefs about ourselves and the world based on our experiences and interactions with others. And if these experiences are negative, such as feeling unloved, rejected, or abandoned, we can develop limiting beliefs like, I'm not worthy, or I'm not safe. And these beliefs reside in the subconscious mind and continue to influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors as adults, often without our conscious awareness. And these unresolved childhood wounds also hold intense emotional memories that, as previously mentioned, can be easily triggered by current events that resemble past experiences to the subconscious mind. When triggered, you may experience overwhelming emotions that lead to self-sabotaging behaviors as a way to cope or avoid the pain. But once you're aware of your emotional triggers and your behavior patterns, you can take that specific trigger, like feeling unsupported or criticized, or a behavior pattern like perfectionism or procrastination, and using a proven energy-based healing technique called the emotion code, body code, and belief code, you can heal the subconscious blocks at the root of your specific triggers or patterns. The idea behind using this energy healing modality is that you can tap into the subconscious mind, which functions like a search engine, to help identify the energetic blocks in the form of unresolved emotions, negative thoughts, and limiting beliefs that are at the root of your triggers and patterns. And these subconscious energetic blocks manifest from those past traumatic events and core wounds. And these energetic blocks, if not addressed, can manifest later as physical, emotional, and psychological symptoms, influencing your emotions, thoughts, behaviors, and overall well-being. With this healing method, you use muscle testing to communicate directly with the subconscious mind, which is a storehouse of every memory, emotion, belief, and experience you've ever had, including those from your childhood, emotions and beliefs inherited from your ancestors, and even past life energetic imprints that impact you now. And using the emotion code technique, you can easily and quickly find any unresolved emotions around a specific pattern or trigger that you're targeting. If you're not familiar with this groundbreaking method, you can read the Emotion Code book by Dr. Bradley Nelson, as well as download my free guidebook, which is a short intro on the emotion code, and I've linked both in the description below. You can also watch a previous video I did about finding and releasing your stuck emotions, which I've also linked in the description below. Now, I do want to be transparent that to go deeper and find and release the energetic blocks in the form of limiting beliefs that are at the root of your triggers and patterns does require the more advanced technique of this energy healing modality, known as the belief code and body code, which you can't learn to do on your own with a book, just like you can with the emotion code. And you will need to work with a certified practitioner like myself, or you can decide to get trained in all three code levels yourself in order to do this approach on your own. In my experience, working as a certified emotion code, body code, and belief code practitioner, these are really the deeper energetic blocks that are at the root of your triggers and patterns that keep you from truly overcoming them, and what holds these energetic imbalances around these unresolved wounds more deeply in place. So finding a way to energetically release them for good would be key so that you don't continue to live with the influences of your hurt inner child. So while I recommend addressing your root energetic blocks underlying and driving your patterns and triggers to heal the influences of your inner child wounds, how you choose to do that is up to you. I'm simply here to share a powerful method that has been life-changing for me and my clients. By doing this healing work, you can be more in control of your reality and the life that you choose to create. Because when you change your energy, you change your life. You are no longer tied to the energy of your unhealed past and drag that into the present and get to free up life force energy to then create the future that you desire, because you're no longer held back by these triggers and patterns that are energetically blocking you from manifesting that desired reality and the life that you love. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to my channel. And hit the bell notification so that you don't miss out on any new content like this to help you heal, get unstuck, and live as your highest self.